Good morning, everyone. So, people have been asking about my near-death experience. I don't know why they call it a near-death experience because I died. It was a death experience. My heart stopped 3 to 4 minutes. So, for those that don't know what happened, let me recap. I'm really bad about time. So, I was in the hospital 14 days and I've been out probably 5 days-ish. Don't judge me. They got me taking pills like every 2 hours. So I drove myself to the hospital, the emergency room. I parked a block and a half away. I walked in. I said, put an aspirin under my tongue immediately. I'm dying. And long story short, they life flighted me to Lima. And during that life flight, I coded. I had a complete stop of the heart, 3 to 4 minutes. Electric shock, nothing. Shock, nothing. Shock, nothing. So, this is what happened. And then I was in a coma for 8 days. Thank God I woke up and I had a couple days of, it was pretty rough. But they let me out. They asked us to stay in Lima for a month so that we could have labs and adjust the medicine and see how the heart surgery went. And they did laparoscopic. They came in from the opposite side of my chest and worked their little magic. So I'm recording this for posterity's sake. What I'm about to say will make many people, because I got like 4,000 something friends here on Facebook, and I've met a fraction of you in real life. And so I know it would be easy for you to just stop listening and think I'm about to start preaching religion. What I'm about to say to you has nothing to do with religion. I'm not a fan of religion. Jesus wasn't a fan of religion. Moses wasn't a fan of religion. Religion is humans, right? What I'm talking about is something that I experienced, something that Cody experienced, that was as real, as lucid, as visceral, as tangible, as vivid as you could possibly get. As real as realer than what I'm able to describe or put into words. What we're talking about is something that, why do near-death experiences around the world have this hallmark of the light at the end of the tunnel? And okay, well, I don't know. I'm just sharing what happened to me, my experience. This near-death experience, like I said, is not meant to divide. It's not meant to start a debate or an argument, or I don't want anyone to think that I'm promoting, religion. I just want to share. So let me just get into it. When I died, those 3 to 4 minutes, I fell into the deep darkness, into what some would call the outer darkness, the abyss, the bottomless pit, the place of horrors. You want to talk about the worst nightmare of your life, like all manner of demons and perversion and just a place of absolute torment. And I liken it unto Dante's Inferno, like the 7 layers of hell. Yeah, I fell through all of that, the deep and the dark and the nasty. And when I could go no more, I was out of body, but as if I had fell flat on my back in the middle of the bottomless pit. that doesn't have a bottom, but I found the bottom. Leave it to me to find something that doesn't exist. So I'm there, and the only thing to do is to look up. And so I'm looking up, and I see this light that is like the teeniest, tiniest one bulb, like Christmas light, like the smallest little, just a point in an infinite sea of darkness, one small point of light. And so next thing I know, I'm floating up towards it. So I'm rising and rising and elevating and ascending and coming out of the darkness and into the marvelous light. And the closer and closer and closer that I get, that light that I saw from the bottom of the bottom of the bottomless pit was a city. I know. Trust me, I know. It was a city. And I'm like, okay, there's a golden city just floating there all by itself, like on an island, but not an island. Work with me here. Work with me. Follow as best as you can, because I'm using words like my larynx is vibrating and formulating these strange frequencies that are coming out of my mouth, and it's going through the cell phone, through Wi-Fi, through satellites, through everything, into your device, into your ears, vibrating your little drum in your ear, and somehow our brains are supposed to make sense of that. I can't make sense of what I'm telling you. I'm just telling you what happened. So this city is floating in the middle of, it's golden. It's so golden. I always tell you, you hear streets of gold, like heaven has streets of gold. You're like, yeah, it's a metaphor. It wasn't metal. It wasn't the gold of metal. It was like sunshine, like a city that was synonymous with the sun. And so here I am, as soon as I can see what I'm looking at, I keep floating up closer to it. And the more I float up closer to it, the more I can see that there's people in this city. And these people are smiling. They're smiling in such a way that I've never seen. It's like Alice in Wonderland, the Cheshire Cat grin, like the ornery, mischievous, comical. Not a smile of like, welcome home, but a smile of they were responding to whatever look I had on the face that I didn't have, because I don't have a body. I'm just floating. But their response to my presence was like almost laughter. I interpreted it as if people were saying, I know exactly how you feel, bro. I remember when it was my day, when it was my turn. Like, this is, I'm living vicariously through your experience, because you're kind of freaking out right now. And I wasn't, but I was. But nevertheless, they're just looking at me and smiling. And right in the middle is God. The archetypal, beard. And I personally interpreted it as Jesus. I know the minute people hear that word, they don't want to hear it. You're going to be tempted to just turn it off. But I saw right in the middle, God himself. And behind him, all the angels the heavenly host. And behind that, like all the saints. And in the midst of all that was my mother that we lost, that she passed away, which was a good Christian woman. She read her Bible, daily. And so here everyone's just smiling and looking at me. And I'm like the main show. I'm the center of attention here. And everybody is just silently looking at me, and I'm looking at them, and I'm getting closer and closer. And then I just stop getting closer. I just pause. And I hear a voice. And it only says 3 words. It says, look and see. Look and see. I know. Work with me here. Again, look and see. And so I interpreted that as saying that it's not your time. If not, it'd be welcome home or something, come on in. Wipe your feet off before you sit on the couch, or, make yourself a sandwich. Kick back. I don't know. But it wasn't come on in. It was look and see. Look and see. And so I looked and I saw. And that's what I saw. And I'm sharing that with you this morning. For what it's worth, please don't judge me. I know, there's a real aspect of me and my character, my personality. It wants to be a people pleaser. No one wants people to be mad at you, upset with you, dissatisfied with you. I preaching religion. Because I have striven to keep my Facebook account clean. I don't talk about religion, and I don't talk about politics. Because I think it's personal. I think it's divisive. I don't want the drama. I don't want the arguing. I want love and light and peace and harmony. And so I try to live that. I strive for that. I desire that. I don't hit the mark. That's exactly what the definition of sin is. The word in Greek literally means to miss the mark, like the bullseye. So I miss the mark by the hour. I get angry, I get this, I get that, whatever. I'm human, just like you, full of faults, full of failures, struggles, defects, temptations. Sometimes we're on top, and sometimes we're on bottom. Sometimes we're riding life, and sometimes life is riding us. Anyway, I just wanted to share this morning. I don't want to belabor the point. I don't want to make a big, long video. And I know a lot of people. Today is a holiday here in Peru. It's the day of the teacher. And so a lot of people off work. But I know a lot of people in North America, you're already having your coffee and you're probably driving to work. So I'm not trying to make you swerve off the road. I'm not trying to take more of your time than necessary, but I wanted to share that. And I've been waiting. I've been sitting on it. I'm not an influencer. I'm not look at me kind of guy. I'm not like attention seeking, or, people are always like, you need a podcast. Like, really? I'm living my life. I'm living my best life. I try to stay off of my cell phone. And that algorithm's got me like everybody else. It's like, oh, you want to see barbecue? Oh, you want to see hiking? Oh, you want to see like philanthropy or farming or permaculture? I'm like, yeah, I do. But I want to just throw my cell phone away. But here I am. Nevertheless, I feel like I have an obligation. That look and see was not just for me. I mean, in that moment it was. But how could I sit on such an experience like that and have a good conscience? How could I just be like, nobody wants to hear that. People are going to throw stones at me. I'm just letting you know I died. And that's what I saw. And people have been asking, I want to hear about your near-death experience. I want to hear your NDE. I want to hear. Well, that's what happened. It's exactly what happened. I went to the bottom of the bottomless pit. I looked up, saw a light. That light turned out to be a city, a golden city that was filled with God and angels and saints and my own mother. And I heard a voice said, look and see. That's the recap. So here I am to live and tell about it. Every day the sun comes up, I'm happy. I mean, as we say here, ya no ya, what more could you want? We have an opportunity to aim higher, an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to be our better self, our higher self, to forgive, to let go of resentments, to let go of those things that weigh us down, our insecurities, our depressions, our anxiety looking forward into the future, depression looking backwards into the past. We have a chance, moment by moment, to just let that go and just bring it to God. That's it's the only way I know to say it. For those of you that don't know, and I would say very few know, this has been my dirty little secret. You want to hear my dirty little secret? You want to hear my skeleton in my closet that I don't tell people, that only my closest of closest friends even know about? I used to be a pastor, a Christian pastor. I've studied Hebrew in Israel. I've gone to seminary. I lived for God hard for most of my adult life. I went through a divorce. I lost so much. I lost my family. My older kids were 5 and 7. They're now 20 and 22. And so this has been a very long God for 13 years, something like that. And so anyway, it's saying I got a bad connection. Welcome to Lima. So I'm not trying to force anything down anybody's throat. I don't like that. I don't like religion. I don't like, yeah. But what I'm talking about is something that's real, something that's personal, something that is something that I experienced. And you could say, well, that's just your mind interpreting things, the trauma of the body. I had no body. I was 3 or 4 minutes dead. Clear. My wife sitting right next to me in the life flight, in the airplane. Thank God for the Peruvian healthcare system. Simple insurance, salud. They sent a private jet with 2 doctors from Lima, from the Institute of Cardiac Research, the hospital that is the premier heart institute in Peru. And they sent that to Cusco to fetch me. Talk about grace. I don't deserve that. Grace is receiving what you don't deserve. I don't deserve that. And mercy is not receiving what you do deserve. Right? So think about that for a minute. Grace is receiving what you do deserve, but mercy is not receiving what you do deserve. Grace is receiving what you don't deserve. Did I say that right? Grace is receiving what you don't deserve. Mercy is not receiving what you do deserve. It's a very tricky, slippery thing. It's like trying to grab a wet bar of soap, but think about it. And so it's grace. I don't deserve to have a private jet. I've never been on a private jet in my life. I'm a country boy from Texas. Shout out to my daughter. I'm wearing this morning. Texas A&M University. Go Aggies. She's graduating soon with as an architect. My oldest daughter, 22 years old. Turned in October 23. Anyway, I just love you all. I'm trying to finish. Hopefully the message is coming through the Wi-Fi and the signal and all that. It froze for a minute here on my end. It said reconnecting. But take it for what it's worth. Maybe that helps you. Maybe that's like confirmation of something that you already know, something you already been thinking. Maybe you want to unfriend me, never talk to me again. That's okay. I'm not asking you to choose light or choose darkness. I'm not asking you to convert to Christianity. I'm not asking you to believe in God. I'm telling you my personal experience. Yeah, I see Gary's comment. Reminds me of taste and see, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, I want to go there. Trust me, I do not want to go to that dark place. That was horrible. That was the worst, like nightmarish. Although I do not believe it was a hallucination. I do not believe it was a nightmare. I do not believe it was like drug-induced, delirium. No. I was out of my body. I was dead. 3 to 4 minutes. I know I keep repeating myself, but like let that sink in. You start counting. 1, 2, 3. That's 3 seconds. We're talking 3 to 4 minutes. And so that's my experience. Take it for what it's worth. As my older brother would say, that and 50 cents would get you a cup of coffee, but 50 cents ain't getting nobody no cup of coffee these days. That tells you how old we are. But it's my experience. And that's for me to live the rest of my life knowing that I want to be better. I want to do more. I want to increase my scope of influence. I want to encourage young men to be the best version of themselves, because I really feel young men they're the backbone of the family. Women are so frustrated with men and their lack of leadership and stability, consistency, maturity, that, we have this feminist, and oh God, I'm opening a can of worms now. No, please, Lord, no, I take it back. No, don't, see, that's how they got us. Men can't be men anymore. It's a sacred masculine. Like God has called men to be men and women to be women and children to obey their parents, and everybody under this umbrella of safety, of God's protection that comes through obedience. And we've got that all upside down, like an upside down cake. We've got the kids being like little Nazis, terrorists, and just ruling the house. You've got, everything all sideways. And so I really feel a calling to reach and to teach and to mentor young men. For years, I've driven by the juvenile detention center, the juvenile prison in Cusco. I walked by it, I've passed by it, and every single time I feel this draw to volunteer there, to mentor young men, to reach and to teach and to try to be a father to the fatherless and tell them, look, this is not your final destination. You have the rest of your life to aim higher, to make better decisions. So anyway, I'm rambling now. I just wanted to share that near-death experience. It was a death experience, but that's what it was. And I'll live the rest of my life to my dying day believing that my goal is to make it into that city and to be reunited with Source, with the Great Spirit, and with my loved ones and with all that are beings of light, all that seek goodness and purity. And so God is a judge. He'll sort it all out, the sheep from the goats. I don't have to worry about that. And I can't save anyone. I can't save myself. I sure can't save no one else. So I'm not on a great white savior kick. Don't worry about that. I just wanted to share. I felt like I had an obligation to share what happened to me because it was the realest of the realest of the realest experience of my life. And I am changed. I am not the same person. Yeah, they shaved my face, but it's not, I'm not talking about a physical change. Yeah, I had a heart surgery, but my heart has changed in a different way. You feel what I'm saying? My heart is aiming higher. Self-actualization, the top of my Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know, I want to be the best version. And I want that for everybody else too. So God bless y'all. Have a wonderful Monday. Somebody's got a case of the Mondays. Yeah, I don't. I get to go to a doctor's appointment. And that's about it. Spend time resting and with family. So, yeah. Y'all have a great day.